India's #1 news network. And you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Thanks very much for tuning into Unmissable. I'm Nabila Jamal. As always, I take you through news from India and across the globe. Let me start with our top story right here on Deep Dive tonight. We're going to delve into Shefali Jariwala's death. Very unfortunate. 42 years old. She died of a cardiac arrest that may have been the fallout of the multiple anti-aging pills, injections that she was taking as per doctors. We're going to talk to our experts to give us a little more insights into that. And of course, Karnataka, big shake-up it appears in the offing. Karnataka Chief Minister change. Is that going to be the next move of the Karnataka Congress? Will DK Shivakumar take over in 3 months? Much of that chatter that unfolds. And finally, in our deep dive, I will take you through Diljit Dosanjh, who's, of course, at this point being criticized for shooting with a Pakistani actor after Operation Sindoor. As always, the headlines first. Monsoon fury across India. IMD warns of heavy rain and red alerts that's been issued across 8 flood-hit states, including Himachal, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Odisha. Extreme rains, landslides, heavy downpours have been reported. Hyderabad factory blast, 12 workers dead, 13 rescued after reactor explosion at Sighachi Industries. Fire department, in fact, they continue to firefight. Several critical at this point, many of them undergoing treatment. But this was it was in fact a factory that generated some food items. Rumbles in Karnataka Congress as leadership change buzz that grows. Karnataka's G. Parmeshwara admits a rift. Surjewala at this point lands in Karnataka, tries to diffuse any kind of infighting or dissent within the party itself. Says all is well. The Supreme Court grants conditional bail protection to Tamil Nadu MLA M. Jagan Murthy in an abduction case. Relief comes days after Madras High Court rejected anticipatory bail. The court has now warned against witness tampering in the case. The BJP's fact-finding team initially barred from entering the Kolkata Law College after the gang rape case. BJP supporters allegedly assault and sexually harass protesters during visit on gang rape case. These are the claims. Shivaganga temple guard dies in custody after alleged police torture. Family alleges 28-year-old Ajit Kumar was beaten during interrogation in the theft case. Kerala government stands firm on Zumba in schools, and amid all that rising protests, religious outfits coming out to say, why Zumba? Could you not have yoga or something else? You have several right-wing groups at this point condemning it. Opposition only growing statewide against this Latin American form of dance, which the government believes in Kerala, this will get them off any kind of addiction, or rather will not push them into drugs. India fast-tracks production of 52 defense satellites for China, Pak, IOR surveillance, space-based surveillance plan that will cost about 26,968 crores. Paresh Rawal quashes Hera Pheri 3 rift rumours, says caste is united, promises hard work for fans. All right, let me start off with a very tragic news that came in right before the weekend hit. Shefali Jariwala, Bollywood actor, a performer who died at the young age of 42. A sudden death that's left the nation stunned. Reports say the Katalaga girl that she's very popularly known for, died of a cardiac arrest late on June 27th. Hours before, we hear that she had taken her routine anti-aging injection. According to her doctor, Shefali had been on glutathione and vitamin C based treatments for 8 years. These are substances that's used to lighten your skin tone and improve its texture, basically to look young. Now, that very evening when she passed away, we hear that she was fasting as she was observing a puja. And on that day, she had also taken that anti-aging injection. Around 10 to 11 p.m., she reportedly felt sick, began trembling and suddenly collapsed. She was rushed to the hospital in Mumbai where doctors declared her brought dead. Now, initial findings claim low blood pressure, cardiac arrest and severe gastric condition. Police recovered anti-aging strips and vitamin supplements, gas relief pills, all of that from her home. No signs of foul play so far. 8 people, including her family as well as doctors, all have been questioned. So what could really be going so wrong? She seemingly looked fit, very young. 42 is really very young for a heart attack, for a person especially who seems so fit like Shefali. Doctors say administering anti-aging compounds like glutathione in a fasted or dehydrated state may dangerously lower blood pressure, putting stress on the heart. Remember, on the day that she was fasting for a puja, that day too she took her anti-aging injection. Could have been a trigger, but of course we're going to wait for final reports of post-mortem. Glutathione, the one that she was on in particular, is known to cause bloating and gastric issues. Now, reputed cardiologists say that most anti-aging injections are cosmetic, experimental and not backed by long-term cardiovascular safety studies. Let me take you through exactly what Malika Sherawat, her, of course, friend and person within the film industry who's spoken after Shefali's death, saying, I'm done with unnatural ways of looking young. We'll switch now to natural ways.
I just woke up and I thought I'll make this selfie video and share with you all. There is no filter that I'm using. There is no makeup that I've put on. I haven't even brushed my hair yet. This is the first thing I'm doing. I'm sharing this video with you so we all together can say no to Botox, no to artificial cosmetic fillers, and yes to life, yes to a healthy way of living.
Well, that's Malika Sherawat who says no to Botox now. Shefali's death has renewed fears around rising heart issues among middle-aged individuals, especially those who appear perfectly fit. It's not just about Shefali here. We're looking at many influencers, actors, everyday people who are collapsing unexpectedly. Some, of course, blaming stress. Many others, their silent load of the modern lifestyle just not boding well. Final post-mortem report will give more clarity, of course, but one thing's clear, looking healthy isn't the same as being healthy. I'm joined by our doctors on the panel here, Dr. Dipali Bharadwaj, senior dermatologist and anti-allergy specialist and laser surgeon. We also have Mekhala Chandra, internal medicine and longevity physician. Thanks very much, the two of you, for joining us. I will start with Dipali Bharadwaj. Doctor, if you can give us a little sense on the glutathione vitamin C injections that Shefali was allegedly taking. Now, these are reports initially that has come out from testimonies given by the doctors of Shefali itself. So we're banking on those reports as per what her doctors have claimed, that she was on glutathione injections, which are anti-aging injections that basically help you stay young. Is it dangerous?
No. A big capital No, no. They are totally non-dangerous. We need to understand glutathione is the mother of antioxidant, which means that it is only, in fact, how was it discovered? It is used for severe cancer patients globally so as to reduce the side effects of the chemotherapy given in cancer. What is dangerous? Overdosage, using counterfeit products, doing it on your own without discussing with your doctor. Doing it for 5 to 8 years can be also harmful. Also, glutathione is not at all known to be anti-aging. For anti-aging, there are other IV drips. And I don't know who is the doctor for Shefali. It's a very, very sad loss for her family and the country. But I feel if we have to discuss particularly with her death, we should have her doctor tell us what was the investigation, what was the injection given. In my practice, I've been giving glutathione, which is very safe. Ideally, nothing is safe. Even paracetamol is as dangerous as glutathione. But if the doctor has sound mind, knows the knowledge of what dosage, how to give it, when to give it, it cannot be just given on empty stomach. You cannot be having dieting, and because a lot of Bollywood, I have a lot of patients in Bollywood who are dieting and doing water fasting, detox diet twice a week. It's very routine. Intermittent fasting is their routine, unlike for people, Punjabi people like us. So for them, the dosage, the schedule of glutathione has to really change than people like me up here in Delhi for Punjab. So, according to your body weight, according to your height, according to your cardiac activity is what these dosages have to be given. And anti-aging drip is not glutathione. Anti-aging drip is called NAD, which is quite in fashion these days. NAD, nicotinamide IV drips.
Let me bring in also the longevity expert, Dr. Mekhala. Your take on this, anti-aging pills or injections, the way that Shefali Jariwala may have taken. We hear her doctors also claim that she self-administered. She took these pills or injections on her own without proper doctor's consultation. Now, it's not new. I know of people who have multivitamins, who have pills that are rich in vitamin C, in glutathione. It's right now a daily go-to for people across the board, all over the world. Why do you think this may have proven dangerous to Shefali, who was also fasting on that very day when she took that injection?
See, I'd like to answer your questions in 3 prongs, right? So first is the medication or the supplements itself. Now, the difference in these supplements, whether they're recommended or not, none of them are FDA approved for anti-aging or for skin whitening. They were developed for a different reason, which is now abused as for different, aesthetic reasons. Now, when the dose is changed, people start self-administering. There's also a chance that the contamination or the substance that you're using or the way you're using it, for example, if IV glutathione, you give it really fast, it can cause like hypotension, which is probably what happened, and circulatory collapse. And so the administration route, the dosage, the frequency that the patient starts taking on her own or his own is extremely dangerous. These drugs or these supplements has to be given under medical supervision with people who know and are qualified to practice with what they're doing. Now, the second reason is, why are we even forced to take these things? Somebody mentioned like NAD plus, right? NAD plus is the new, or actually it's a fad that has actually passed now, including rapamycin. These drugs, like they come out, they have quote unquote potential benefits, and then after that studies come out and they show like, hey, there was serious side effects to that. So people kind of abuse it. It's a trend. As I mentioned earlier, wellness has become a business. There is no method to this madness, and things need to calm down. Everything is just going out of hand. Even for medical professionals, if one doesn't recommend, they will find a doctor who does, and then it starts the saga of disruption. So this needs to be controlled and regulated a lot more. And third thing I would like to point out is the social pressure that is created for people to even start abusing drugs. Nobody wants an IV in their body unless they need to, right? So why are we abusing this drug? What is the social pressure that is created for Bollywood or for any other person who's seeking them, right? So that thing needs to be also addressed. So my advice to anybody who's trying to take these supplements on their own, please discuss it with your doctor. There's only few supplements that have actually shown benefit in studies, which include vitamin D and omega fatty acids. Other studies that are still being done are not recommended as per now, and none of them are FDA approved.
So when you say it's risky, what's the first sign of risk should you note? What are the big no-nos when you're taking these anti-aging pills? First of all, they're so easily available. You have every possible cosmetologist, dermatologist, off-the-counter, pharmacies there selling you the best of drugs that will make you look young. There's certainly no control or limitation. So in your view, I mean, as much as we would want the government to really take control and draw the red line, maybe clamp down on the sale of these meds, What's your advice on people reaching out for these meds? What are the signs to look out for if it isn't suiting you? Dr. Dipali?
One, you can have anaphylaxis. You cannot take an IV drip sitting at home. Even I would not advise that you can call a nurse and do it at home. It has to be done in a doctor's clinic because we are equipped with always an emergency tray. All our staff, even the office boys, are well trained to do simple procedures like basic life support and give CPR. So I think, one, from your channel, I would say nobody should take such supplements on their own. You should do regular blood tests. Even if you're taking a simple ashwagandha or some multivitamins, regular blood checkups should be done, especially if you have a good diet, because over vitamins, excess vitamins also leads to liver damage. If you are taking this kind of a drip, what protocol we follow is a specific, according to weight of the person and according to their physical activity, we calculate the dose and we never go on top of it. We have never done that in 10 years. Number two, you can always develop kidney damage due to it if you have been using it for more than 2 years. So there has to be regular blood tests, which is extremely important. Lastly, you should never take these supplements on empty stomach. Whenever you take it, you should have some slow, gradual eating with it. And after that, you should not really exercise for some time, so that you're giving your body some time for these vitamins to go and circulate rather than go and sit in the body. So it's very important to follow a specific routine when you're on these kind of world-class level of vitamins and injections. I don't say you should not take them, but you have to take them very, very scientifically, which is very important.
But you said something very interesting that resonates. You say don't exercise post that. And I know for a fact that you have celebrities at least obsessed with their routine workouts. They also take these anti-aging medicines in whatever form of an injection or pill, but will not miss their routine workout. Why do you say it could be harmful while being on these meds and going to the gym at the same time? What pressure can it add to your heart? And of course, a natural question, is a healthy person or a person who appears to be very healthy and fit necessarily have a fit heart?
Well, actually, all of these are supposed to increase little bit of inflammatory markers also in the body, is what certain studies are saying, which even I figured out after, of course, this loss to the country, the Bollywood star. So, they increase inflammatory markers. Secondly, secondary to the COVID vaccine also, there are certain studies in America which are proving that inflammatory markers are increasing. The whole anti-aging process is supposed to be reducing inflammation in your body. And the biggest source of reducing inflammation is Sasta Tikau basic beetroot, which is rich in nitric oxide, which is actually anti-aging and reduces inflammation largely in the human bodies. So yes, if you're taking these supplements, you want to stay up to trend, no problem, but you have to do them scientifically. You have to meet your doctor who knows everything. And also you should get your regular blood test done. Whenever you're taking any boost of vitamins, etc., we don't say that, it has to be according to your weight, according to your cardiac activity, so that there is no pressure on any kind of a body organ also that, you're excessive working out. So
Dr. Dipali, I know when you say you got to get your regular checkups done, etc., how often can you get a heart check done, to actually go through a test to check your heart health? The doctors itself tell you don't come back to me before 2-3 years. If you've done it one round, how often do you get it done?
Once a year for people.
Once a year?
Like
is that what you recommend?
Yeah, I would.
All of it, the whole deal, endoscopy, etc., all of it.
No, not endoscopy, but yeah, cardiac markers surely after seeing such a high rise, double, triple of figures of cardiac arrest is definitely an alarm, and it's not something which anybody wants to hear and wake up to this kind of news. So getting cardiac markers once a year is definitely mandatory, and people who are into fitness, wellness, they must do it once in 10 months, 12 months for sure.
Okay, Dr. Mikala, of course, let me play out some of the images of many of the stars who unfortunately, sadly passed away young. If we could have those images there. That singer KK, we had from Karnataka, my state, Puneet Rajkumar, who died at the young age of 46. I knew for him to be so fit. He would never miss his workouts. You had, of course, comic Raju Srivastav, Siddhant Shukla, as we know, most famously we hear Siddhant and Shefali also briefly dated each other. She was remembering Siddhant Shukla just days before her death. So that's another eerie, information that I got a little earlier today that really left me so worried about my health itself. I'd like to ask you, Dr. Mekhala, are we genuinely seeing a rise in cardiac events among youngsters, middle-aged individuals, or is it just more awareness now?
Actually both. It's interesting that you pointed out the awareness, but what's really happening is, see, first thing, everybody is different, right? Whatever family history they are carrying in their genes matters, whatever work environment or the stress environment matters, what diet and regimen they are on also matters, and the physical routine. Some people tend to push themselves too much. This is an industry which is very demanding in terms of physical and mental health. There's always stress, there's always tension, there's irregular hours, the circadian rhythm is all messed up, not only for Bollywood but for other professions also these days. And what's happening is there's a lot of social media gyan, where people are not paying attention to the actual medical issues. And as Dr. Deepika mentioned about the routine lab tests, so I'm an obesity medicine physician by training, and we practice a lot of metabolic health and reduction of weight and then anti-aging or longevity. This is all a spectrum of one thing that is basically coming from your health. It starts with as basic as nutrition, right? So as you mentioned, I am a big fan of beetroot myself. I give all my patients in any form beetroot, for example, and we have a lot of natural ingredients. What's happening is, because of time restrictions and all these fads that are happening without scientific evidence, people are just trying to have different things. They're trying to tag each other into it. My friend took it, they're having Botox parties, they're having IV nutritional therapy parties, and it's become more of a aesthetic trend, whereas these drugs were developed for very different reasons, and most of them do not have a protocol attached to it, which is affirmed by guidelines, for example, ADA guidelines or RSSTI guidelines. And so these are a lot in experimental phases, and people are practicing this. I'm a US trained physician, and I know in the US especially how these things are overused, and I agree. There are very rare doctors, such as my colleague here, who actually follow a method. There's lab monitoring. Even when my patients are losing weight, I make sure we check the inflammatory markers. You asked earlier in terms of cardiac health, there are markers that are more prognostic, which tells you whether you're at higher risk or not. Homocysteine is one of them. Apolipoprotein B is one of them. We check that a lot, which is in your advanced cardiac lipid panel, if you ever want to look up it commercially. But these are some things we do keep in mind, and they tell us the risk factors for what the patient holds. So for those kind of high risk patients, we do not recommend certain treatments. We don't recommend keto, or we don't recommend aggressive approach. Some people just are born with bad liver, or they have certain other abuses going on to it. So you want to avoid certain medications, and different medications have different side effects, and especially supplements, right? So basically the user has to be aware before they start or put anything in their body. Please go through a medical supervision, somebody who's knowing what is the exact quantity that should reach your body, because everybody is different. And so what the dosage would be for me would be very different. As she mentioned, it's per kg. It's dependent on age. Different drugs are different variability. So please ask help, or seek advice from somebody who knows what they're doing. And of course, the risk factors has to be monitored all the time. They can change aggressively. For example, 6 months what you were before, now you may be different because of some stress induced in your life, right? So monitoring
I did have, of course, a lot of the triggers are gastric. Often your gut health is what leads you to believe that you're having a chest pain, or almost leading to a heart attack or a cardiac arrest. Chest heaviness usually comes due to gut issues. So how often do you check your gut issues, which is why I brought up the endoscopy tests as well. I know of people now doing it so regularly because they're so worried about their digestive tract, their system, that I still cannot really put a finger on how many tests and how many number of times do you take it in a year to ensure you're safe.
So it's really not about tests. It's a very fascinating question you asked. Actually, the reason people are now paying attention, because suddenly gut health is a topic, right? From especially past 2 years.
Yeah.
I myself am a firm believer of gut health and brain axis and how it's All of a sudden, we are hearing probiotics and anything to boost your gut health. But truly it has always been there, especially with the Ayurvedic regimen, or just the traditional home remedies we've been following at home, like curd and kanji and things like that. People have forgotten traditional food, and they mess around with different environments. Suddenly you're exposed in cold and you're in this AC concert, versus like all of a sudden you're outside in extreme hot temperature, shooting or whatever your profession requires you to sit for longer. So gut health, especially in Indian people, is like really, really low, because we have inflammation in our body just by default, and we have something called as inflammation of adipose tissue, which is why our obesity and overweight is more inflammatory compared to Caucasian population. And so these things you see, when you talked about like early heart attacks, when you talked about poor gut health, it's a lot of inbuilt because of we are turning to westernization in terms of processed foods and missing our home foods and the tradition that were meant to always support your gut health and other body health, like mental health also. So we're moving away from that, and that's why you can kind of see this trend. And so I would just recommend, and I do recommend to all my patients, just like bring that home remedy in. It's as simple. It starts at home. Health starts at home. It does not start at hospital or a clinic.
But no amount of home remedies can beat a glutathione vitamin C impact on your skin, right?
It could, you'll be surprised, but the regimen is and it's not an acute issue.
Well, let me bring in the cosmetologist, Dr. Dipali. Would it?
Well, it really could. I am not.
You'll have to consume nearly 20 watermelons, which you can otherwise do with one glutathione injection, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't eat that many watermelons, but one injection would do. But that's what these injections really do. When you can't consume that amount of food, you inject it to your body. But like you said, I get you. It's got to be measured, monitored. You can't do it on your own. You've got to check your health parameters. Because I know loads of actors, will not name them here, who are doing this on a regular basis. They're fine.
Leave actors. Look at those Instagram influencers. Look at the common people who are following these actors. I have a lot of such patients. I regularly get patients at my clinic, young girls who have purchased this glutathione online from websites like India Mart and Alibaba, etc. And they force my clinic that, Dr. Dipali won't allow. They'll tell my junior doctor and nurse, can you please inject and take a small piece? And there's a strict no to it, because we don't know who's the supplier, whether the cold chain was maintained, whether it's a counterfeit product. There is no solid distributor for these products. So they're basically getting it from grey market. And if Dr. Dipali injects, it'll be the death or some kind of a complication at Dr. Dipali's clinic. So we are completely no for it. But I know of centers who land up falling prey to such clients, and they actually give them those injections. So it's a very, very sad scenario.
So from what I get from you, it's not unsafe, but surely we need better, stricter medical protocols for these anti-aging and aesthetic treatments. So best to get to your doctor, don't self-administer. That's really the bottom line I can get from this. I really appreciate both of you, Dr. Dipali and Mekhala, for joining us. On that note, I slip into a short break. We'll be right back with all the top stories coming in today. Stay with us.
खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
पार्टी हॉर्न्स भी होने चाहिए, मंगा लेती हूँ। खाकरा मंगवा लेती हूँ, थेपला भी मंगवाएगी, थेपला भी मंगवा लेती हूँ। अलग अलग मत ऑर्डर कर, एक बार में मंगवा। एफर्ट्स और पैसे दोनों बचा। सेविंग्स की विद्या तो कोई तुझसे सीखे। जब पैसा हो बचाना, फेडरल बैंक से रिश्ता बनाना।
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every seam, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
What began as a day of celebration turned into a tragedy. The High Court has stepped in and political blame game has ensued. Why is it so difficult in Indian society to say no, mistake has been made? This timeline is going to make things very clear. This was very much avoidable. Unparalleled scene, unimaginable to watch. America and Europe are reaping what they have sown. Is this the new frontier of the American politics?
Welcome back. Let's begin with my state, Karnataka. There's a lot of buzz about a leadership change. So is DK Shivakumar going to be the next Chief Minister of Karnataka within the next 3 months? That's the chatter that's growing louder within the Congress now, with talk of a leadership change getting louder than before. For the first time, senior leaders are publicly admitting all's not well within the party. In fact, Home Minister G. Parmeshwara has acknowledged discontent among MLAs over leadership and lack of coordination. He's warned that there's a Lakshman Rekha that no one should cross, but also admitting and agreeing at the same time that there is a problem and only the top leadership of the Congress can settle it. Here's what he said.
Individually, they have expressed their opinions. To some extent, I don't think it is wrong. But then again, there is a Lakshman Rekha. That, party draws that Lakshman Rekha. Beyond the point, you should not go like that.
Now, to douse the fire, the Congress's top troubleshooters, Randeep Surjewala himself, has landed in Karnataka for a marathon 3-day intervention. He's holding one-on-one meetings with the MLAs, many of whom have gone public with their anger in recent days. Let's listen in.
ನನಗೆ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂದ ಕರೆ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ಮಾನ್ಯ ಸುರ್ಜೇವಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಕಮಿಟಿಯ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ದೀರ್ಘವಾದಂಥ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಆಯಿತು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದದ್ದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲನೂ ನನ್ನ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಪಕ್ಷ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು.
Surjewala has already met with B.R. Patil and Raju Kage, both vocal critiques of the current government. Adding fuel to the fire is MLA Iqbal Hussain, who's considered close to DK Shivakumar, has now dropped a big hint that a leadership shift could really be on the horizon. MLA Rajanath too saying a change of guard may not be very far away. So senior leaders within the party itself echoing this. Let's listen in to what Iqbal had said.
ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡು ಸೂಕ್ತವಾದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂಕ್ತವಾದ ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ, ನಂಬಿಕೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದೆ.
ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ ಸರ್?
ಹೌದು, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ, ಈಗೇನು ಇವ್ರು ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಗೆ ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರೆಲ್ಲರೂ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 2-3 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
So many people, they are aspiring to become the ministers. They are also waiting for that. They are waiting for that opportunity. At the same time, many people who are wishing to become the chief minister, they are also wishing to change of leadership in the government. Likewise, in the party also, many of the people trying to become the president of the Congress party, they are also wishing for the changes. Likewise, many people, they are having their own agenda. So all those agenda will be coming to force and those will take a shape after September. That is my wish.
Meanwhile, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is now brushing off all the buzz, and the party president Mallikarjun Kharge insists that only the High Command can decide the leadership change. No one should involve themselves.
ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರು ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಶ್ಚೀಮರು. ನಾನು ಇವನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೇ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
6 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಂತೆ, ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ.
ಅವನು ಶ್ರೀರಾಮುಲು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ ಗೆದ್ದು ಸೋತಿರೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ ಸೋತಿರೋದು. ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಗೂ ಸೋತ, ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿಗೂ ಸೋತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವನು ಭವಿಷ್ಯನು ಹೆಂಗ್ ನುಡಿತಾನೆ? ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಬಂಡೆ ತರ ಭದ್ರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ.
ನೀವಿಬ್ರು ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ.
ನಾವಿಬ್ರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ವಾ?
See, that is in the hands of High Command. Nobody can say here what is going in the High Command. This is left to the High Command. High Command has got power to take further actions, but unnecessarily one should not create problems.
Of course, BJP at this point having a field day. Leader of opposition R. Ashoka has now taken a direct swipe at Mallikarjun Kharge, calling him accidental president who doesn't know what the High Command is thinking, comparing it to the Manmohan Singh era. For now, the Congress central leadership is of course silent, but internal fault lines clearly out in the open. Now, a quick look. What started as routine garbage disposal really turned into a horror story for BBMP workers in Bengaluru. BBMP workers in Bengaluru, while doing their job of throwing garbage, disposing it off, they found a woman's body stuffed inside a travel bag that was dumped like trash near a skating arena. The victim was 35-year-old Asha, a mother of 2, allegedly killed by her live-in partner. The accused, Shamshuddin, is now in police custody. The police say Shamshuddin, who is married with a family already living in Assam, met Asha while both worked for Urban Company. They eventually began living together in Hulimavu. Their relationship was quite stormy as per neighbors. They often heard fights and signs of alcohol abuse, etc. On the night of the murder, Shamshuddin allegedly came home drunk. A fight broke out and violent rage. He is said to have strangled Asha, tied her legs to her neck, stuffed her body into a travel bag. What followed was quite chilling. He rode nearly 20 kilometers with that bag on his bike, dumped it into a BBMP garbage truck near Chennamakere Achukattu police station limits, a busy locality as well. Sharp-eyed garbage worker there noticed the strands of hair poking out of that bag while unloading trash, and that's what raised the alarm. CCTV footage has proven quite crucial for police. Shamshuddin's bike was caught on multiple cameras carrying that very bag. The trail led the police to eventually find Shamshuddin. He is now under arrest. He was arrested late last night, has been questioned. Cops now probing if anyone else is involved in this murder that seemingly looked like a drunken fit, but cops now trying to assess if this was planned. Now shifting our focus to Tamil Nadu, custodial death has really rocked the state. A chilling case of custodial torture has sparked massive outrage in Tamil Nadu. 27-year-old Ajit Kumar, a temple guard from Shivaganga, was allegedly beaten to death by a police special team right in front of his brother while being held in illegal custody. Ajit is the 24th custodial death in Tamil Nadu since 2021, raising alarms of police efficiency, of their sincerity, a very disturbing pattern certainly under the DMK government. So what really happened here was Ajit and 4 others were picked up on June 27th after 2 women complained of missing gold from their car. Instead of being taken to a police station, they were illegally detained, interrogated across multiple off-grid spots, a vet hospital, a school hostel, and even near a lake. Now, his brother Naveen says the torture got so worse through the night. In desperation, Ajit is said to have made a false confession, hoping to end that pain. But when he admitted the truth, the beating intensified. He collapsed and never recovered. The police claim that they took him to a private hospital then, but by then he was declared dead. His body was sent to Madurai for post-mortem, revealing 15 external injuries and severe internal damage. 6 officers from the so-called special police team, Prabhu, Kannan, Sankara, Manikandan, Raja, Anand and Ramachandran, have all now been suspended. But shockingly, no arrests have happened so far. And the FIR just under section 176 of the new BNS, which only covers procedural lapses, not murder, not assault. Ajit's village, Madhapuram, is up in arms. Protests have erupted outside the local police station, demanding accountability. DMK leaders now visited the family, offering 5 lakhs in compensation and a government job as well, though nothing's confirmed as yet. The visit, however, has triggered political backlash. DMK flagged car that was used to ferry Ajit's family was in fact stopped. AIDMK slammed the move, calling this crude attempt to politicize a tragedy as well. Now, it's very sad to see a young man who guarded a temple, death coming to him in such a lawless manner, and yet none of them arrested. Not a single one of those cops have been arrested or an FIR of attempt to murder slapped on them. And here is another gut-wrenching story coming in from Tamil Nadu. In 2025, imagine, dowry is still killing women. A 27-year-old girl, Ridhanya, from Tirupur, is dead 78 days after her wedding. She died by suicide after recording multiple voice notes that she shot to her father before taking her life. And in those voice notes, we hear she claimed that she was being harassed by her in-laws for dowry. In fact, the family, of course, is devastated. They are protesting on the streets, demanding justice. But here's her story. Ridhanya was married just a few weeks ago rather. She married 28-year-old Kevin Kumar in April. The match was fixed with a promise of 500 sovereigns of gold and 70 lakh Volvo car. Both that was given to the boy's family. The girl's family gave a 70 lakh Volvo car and about 300 sovereigns of gold. The rest of the 200 was yet to be given. Now we hear that harassment from the in-laws came for the remaining 200 sovereigns of gold. They kept asking for it, and we hear that Ridhanya wasn't able to give answers to her in-laws. She kept coming back home to her father saying that they're harassing me, and her father sent her back asking her to adjust. Now her husband, Kevin Kumar, is the grandson of Tirupur District Congress Chief Krishnan. Along with his parents now, Ishwaramurthy and Chitra Devi, they are all now arrested. In fact, we hear that on Saturday, Ridhanya left her home saying that she was going to a temple. Instead, she parked her car midway, recorded 7 voice messages to her father, and then consumed sulfurs, a toxic pesticide. And immediately, she was found collapsed in the car with white foam coming out of her mouth. And in those voice notes, we understand that she said to her father, "I don't like this life. I'm unable to continue. You and mom are my world. I'm sorry, father. Everything is over. I'm leaving." In fact, the father has also spoken. Her father, Annadurai, who's a businessman himself, he's absolutely shocked and devastated. He says, Ridhanya came back to me, came back home 15 days after the marriage. I told her to adjust. I didn't know how bad it was. Later, they kept demanding 100 crores. The groom's family demanded 100 crores to start a business. They cheated us. She was completely broken. This is Annadurai, Ridhanya's father. It's just so sad to see in the 21st century well-educated boy, girl families indulging in such a crime. Clearly, there's no deterrent. No amount of dowry laws, anti-dowry laws has acted as a deterrent here to the boys' side. Imagine at 28 years of age, this man on our screens here is banking on his wife's money to start business. That's how desperate the family looks like. And at this point, even as they stand arrested, this leaves a deep scar and a huge question on the society that we're living in today. Despite all the education and the money that we have, we're still greedy for more. And Kolkata gang rape that's now unraveled, with more information coming in. The survivor's medical report is out and it does confirm gang rape. Evidence of forceful penetration has been found. Bite marks has been reported. Nail scratches also found. This is what her report suggests. A brutal attack on a law student inside her college premises that happened on June 25th evening has now been confirmed by doctors. The case has triggered a full-blown political showdown in West Bengal. BJP's fact-finding team, led by former Union Minister Satpal Singh and Meenakshi Lekhi, And MPs Biplab Kumar Deb and Manan Kumar Mishra have visited the South Kolkata Law College campus, the very spot where the crime took place. They are accusing Mamata Banerjee government of failing women, demanding accountability and urging the Chief Minister to allow access to the victim's family and all relevant locations. Meanwhile, let's have a look, listen in to the reactions there.
इस राज्य की मुख्यमंत्री एक महिला हो, उस राज्य के अंदर महिलाओं के ऊपर, हमारी बेटियों को इतना अत्याचार हो, इतने अपराध हो, बेटी किसी की भी हो, इसमें कोई राजनीतिकरण नहीं है। हम यहाँ कोई केस का राजनीतिकरण करने नहीं आए हैं। इसमें कोई राजनीति, कोई पार्टी नहीं है। उस बेटी सबकी बेटी है, कलकत्ता की बेटी पूरे भारत की बेटी है। और इसलिए हम लोग ये चाहते हैं इस केस के अंदर जहां तक है और कठोरतम सजा हो, परिवार को न्याय मिले और महिलाएं यहाँ पर केवल एक वोट बैंक नहीं है, महिला केवल एक स्टैटिस्टिक्स नहीं है, महिला केवल राजनीतिक ढाल नहीं बनना चाहिए। वे सम्मान की पात्र हैं, वो सुरक्षा की पात्र हैं, उनको सब कुछ मिलना चाहिए। इतना कहकर मैं
Right, meanwhile, leader of opposition Suvendu Adhikari also hit the streets leading a protest march, calling this a collapse of law and order. He says women's safety in Bengal has become a cruel joke, directly blaming Mamata Banerjee for the spike in crimes against women in West Bengal.
पूरा प्रदेश में भाजपा पहले दिन से सड़क में है। पूरा प्रदेश में मशाल जुलूस चल रहा है। पूरा प्रदेश में युवा मोर्चा, महिला मोर्चा सब लोग सड़क में आए। हमारी एक ही मांग है, बंगाल का बेटी, कोई बेटी ममता बनर्जी का चीफ मिनिस्टरशिप में सुरक्षित नहीं है। बेटी को सुरक्षा देने का काम पुलिस का है। पुलिस पूरा फेल है, इसलिए पुलिस कस्बा इंसिडेंट में विक्टिम का फैमिली को पूरा छुपा के रखा है। आज नेशनल वुमेन कमीशन को सामने भी नहीं ला सका वो लोग।
Even as the pressure mounts on the state government, controversy erupts from within the TMC. MLA Madan Mitra has sparked anger with his remarks, saying the incident could have been avoided if the girl hadn't gone alone, basically victim shaming here, warning women not to visit colleges after hours. His comments have drawn massive backlash. Tamil Congress says it's issued a show cause notice to its own leader, but Mitra claims he hasn't received any of it.
वो लड़की अगर नहीं जाता तो ये घटना नहीं घटते थे। अगर जाने का टाइम लड़की किसी को बता के जाते थे, दो सहेलियां लेके जाते थे, ये नहीं घटते। वो जो देख रहे हैं हम, जो गंदा काम किया, वो he had taken the advantage of the situation.
All right, let me now quickly take you through rains that's really, in fact, Maharashtra, the government now rolling back its controversial, well, let me take you through exactly what's happening in Himachal Pradesh. I apologize for that. Even as the IMD has announced that the monsoon has reached every corner of the country, reports of rivers overflowing banks or flowing in spate are coming in from all across Himachal Pradesh. Let me show you these gripping visuals. A multi-story building that came collapsing in a matter of few split seconds in Shimla. The accident took place in Bhatta Kufar, Shimla. No casualties reported. Rain lashed several parts of Chamba. Red alert has also been sounded in major parts of the state. Kangra, Mandi, Sirmaur, Solan districts have also ordered a closure of schools on June 30th as precaution. Now, Beas River still flowing at a normal pace. Thankfully, it's not above the danger mark, but out of precaution, schools have announced closure. 3 fatalities have been reported. The incident in the last 24 hours have come in, and that's taken the death toll now since the onset of monsoons in the state to 20. Many of them were washed away. Many workers construction workers in that vicinity there were washed away. That's now taken the death toll in Himachal alone to 20 owing to rains. A quick look at Delhi now. A tree was uprooted and fell on a car amid rain and strong winds in South Delhi's Sheikh Sarai. The national capital, Delhi, enjoyed some respite from the heat, but unfortunately these are visuals that came in from a little earlier today. Let me take you through Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh heavy showers mark monsoon's arrival in many towns. Aligarh sees knee-deep waterlogging, traffic jams reported. Muradabad relief from heat, but severe waterlogging at key spots like District Veterinary Hospital was reported. Now have a look at Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu opens 13 spillway shutters at Mullaperiyar Dam. Water levels has crossed the 136 feet mark. Shutters have been raised by 10 centimeters. In Idukki, collector warns people near Periyar River to stay alert for increased water flows. A quick look at Jammu and Kashmir Salal Dam. Jammu and Kashmir Salal Dam gates on Chenab River opened in Resi district, triggered by rising water levels due to heavy rainfall. Residents along the river banks were advised caution there. Extreme rains caused deadly landslides, blocked roads. Cloudburst in Uttarkashi sweeps away hotel site. 9 workers trapped, 2 bodies recovered. Rescue operations underway there. Visuals show vehicles stranded in gushing streams. A quick look at Rajasthan, Sirohi district. In fact, the driver's car trapped as rainwater rises suddenly. Driver climbs onto his car roof to save himself. Dramatic video there going viral. Heavy rains continue to pose threat to low-lying areas in Rajasthan. We're slipping into a quick break. We'll be right back on a lot of heat mounting on Diljit Dosanjh for roping in Pakistani actress Hania Amir for his film despite the India-Pak conflict. Stay with us.
बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
Hey, careful, huh? My daddy got it from abroad. Hey, disaster! How will you pay for the loss now?
In stock market, you should take risk as per your capacity and knowledge. Trade in options very carefully.
Wow, Dikra! Absolutely perfect. Take risk with full understanding.
सोच कर, समझ कर, इन्वेस्ट कर.
Right, welcome back. Here's a quick look at Diljit Dosanjh, who's facing a lot of heat for roping in Pakistani actress Hania Amir for his film. Now, veteran actor Nasiruddin Shah has come out in support, backing Diljit Dosanjh. Diljit Dosanjh, amid the ongoing controversy, regarded his recently released movie Sardarji 3. In fact, taking to his Facebook handle, the actor penned a note supporting Diljit. He says Diljit was not responsible for casting Pakistani actress Hania Amir in the film. In fact, Nasiruddin Shah says, I stand firmly with Diljit. He's not the first person to do so. In fact, filmmaker Imtiaz Ali, author Chetan Bhagat, writer Javed Akhtar have all come out in support of Diljit Dosanjh. On the other hand, fellow Punjabi singers like Guru Randhawa have schooled Diljit Dosanjh on national pride, slamming him for roping in Hania Amir. Mika Singh also demanding an apology from Diljit Dosanjh. B. Park also questioning his conscience. Actor-singer Aditya Narayan also has said India always comes first, and had he been in Diljit's shoes, he would have put the nation first. Basically, in a way to suggest, all of them in fact, who slammed Diljit, saying he should have dropped Hania Amir the moment the Pakistan conflict took place. Now, Diljit's new film Sardarji 3 has been facing criticism, release hurdles and a ban in India for casting the Pakistani actor Hania Amir, especially after the India-Pakistan tensions and Operation Sindoor after Pahalgam attacks. It seems like the tolerance levels have dropped immensely among a large bunch of the people within the film industry and, of course, netizens, unsparing. Now, let me take a quick look at our panelists joining us to give their opinions on what this really means. I have with me Shehzad Khan, who's an actor himself. Thank you very much. Girish Wankedi, who's also film trade analyst and cinema exhibitor. Shehzad, do you support or condemn Diljit for the stance he's taken? I would like to tell our viewers that Diljit has very clearly said he is not going to back off now. He did not know, or rather, when he roped in Hania Amir, at that point the conflict had not begun. This happened much later after most of the movie was shot. So he still goes with the film and with the star cast. What's your opinion on that?
Thank you very much for having me on your show. See, politics and creativity, film industry should be kept separate. They should not be mixed. And Hania Amir is just playing a character in that. And after all, Diljit Dosanjh is an actor. He's just a worker in that. Maybe they couldn't afford his fees, so he must have taken a part of share in it. So his name is coming as a producer. But I don't think so there's anything wrong. And he himself is saying that he is not going to release the film in India. That's fine, absolutely fine. He can release it anywhere he wants. It's his film. As long as he doesn't release it in India, because people in India don't want it to release here. So that I don't see anything bad in it. What's the problem?
Question of whether Diljit should have commented after the conflict. At least Diljit should have spoken up there. That was the expectation from him, since he has responsibility as an Indian. He's a global star. He's working with a Pakistani actor. Some conscience to kick in, so he could have put out a message, maybe condemning it. That also did not happen.
See, how can he condemn his own film? He's
not his
working
film,
with her.
not his film. I'm not asking. I'm not saying
exactly whatever you're saying. I just want to say, how can he call his? This is already casted. He's releasing the film worldwide, excepting India. So how can he, go back on his things, what he has done? So I think and his freedom of speech. He has all the freedom of speech he wants. There's nothing wrong.
So then the rest of the country also has freedom of speech. They've demanded a ban. Well, so be it. Girish Wankede, what's the real impact on the film that this ban would do? He's not, and it's not as if he's not releasing the film in India. He's not allowed to now. There seems to be a ban, and at least a call for a ban. And I'm sure, owing to security purposes, it will be discouraged, a release in India. Girish?
Yeah, obviously the film is not released in India. It was released on 27th, and it is doing well in Pakistan. Also in various Indian diasporas across the globe, it is doing good business. As far as India is concerned, we had already, there is an apex film body called as FWICE, Federation of Western India Cine Employees, which is a very respectable body, and it has already set the mandate that the artists from the Pakistan origin are, if they are featuring in the film, that film will not be allowed to be showcased here, because there were certain artists who has tweeted against India after the Pahalgam attack, and that was the reason the apex body of India film body, they have restricted the release of that film. Now, film as such is not a Diljit Dosanjh film. It is a producer's film. Of course, we know, but as you said, that as a reputed actor, as a mature actor, as a superstar, he has certain responsibilities for his country as well as for his film. Now that the film is not releasing in India, across the globe, it may do business, but the fan following he has in India are not happy with him because of his immaturity, which he is talking about. He has his videos viral where he is saying, I don't care for Bollywood and all. So such videos.
Shehzad, a quick word from you.
Excuse me, Mr. Wankade, that is totally his call. That is totally his call. He can say whatever he wants to Bollywood, because he is a very big star. Globally, Diljit Dosanjh is a very big star. There's a big fan following of him all over the world.
Which is why the responsibility question arises.
Okay, it's his wish. He doesn't want to take the responsibility.
Okay, all right. His wish. Losses are his loss. why should anyone care, right? If that's the approach, then so well be it.
When he doesn't care about his film not releasing in India, which of course will affect its collection. If he had listened to the FWIC and edited those portions, he would have got more money. But
all right. As I'm really short on time, I apologize, Shehzad and Girish. Thank you very much for joining us on this. We've got your end point here. On that note, I wrap this right here. Have a great night.
खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया